there's nowhere I can hide. You see straight through my lies. I've been fighting with the tide, tossing, turning every night. Time is precious, I've been reckless. I'm not ready to go steady. I can't help these tendencies to push people away from me. I just need to adjust.
Hey guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be filming this video. Like I said in my previous video, I just got some lighting. I'm trying out a different way to use the lighting. I was using the orange ring light covers, now I have on the white clear ones. I just wanted to compare the videos and see kind of which one looks better. I think I'm going to like the orange one for the video better, and then these white ones for showing close-up swatches and inserting those in the video. I sound super nasally because I woke up this morning and I have a cold, so it's really good. But anyways, today's video I'm excited for also because I'm going to be doing my current eyeshadow palette collection, aka the eyeshadow palettes that are coming into 2019 with me. I'm filming this on New Year's Eve. It'll either be up today or tomorrow on New Year's, so either the last day of 2018, first day of 2019, obviously. So if you would like to know which eyeshadow palettes I did not declutter and I am taking into 2019, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, the first one isn't actually an eyeshadow palette, but it is my only single shadow that I own. It is the ColourPop, what are these called again? Oh yeah, Super Shock Shadows, and I have the shade Ripple, and this is what it looks like. It's super beautiful, and I honestly love this shadow. It's super unique. I have a shadow like this in my James Charles palette, but I like Ripple a lot better than the formula in the Morphe palette. So I'm definitely keeping that. The next palette that I'm keeping that I really want to get more use out of is the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. This is what it looks like. It's super pretty. I think it has some good metallic shades in there, and I really need to get more use out of this. I was super excited when I bought this when first expanding my collection. The next palette that I am definitely keeping is the Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette. I love the pastel colors in this palette. Unfortunately, this is no longer available, which is one of the reasons why I'm keeping it, not just because it was limited edition, but because if I did get rid of this, and say I didn't like it, I got rid of it, and then I decided I wanted it again, like I couldn't get my hands on it again because it is limited edition. So I will be keeping that palette. I'm also obviously keeping a bunch of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, aka all of them. Did y'all just see what my right eye did? What the heck was that? So the first one we have is the Modern Renaissance palette. You all know what this one looks like. It's super pretty, and I absolutely love this one. Again, I need to get some more use out of it. I need to start up my Shop My Stash videos again. It got kind of crazy. But also the Subculture palette. This palette is hard to work with. As you can see, I have pan on two of the shades, Cube and Electric, but I do really like the colors in this palette, even though they are a little bit hard to work with. I still get a lot of use out of some of the shades in there. The next palette is last year's holiday palette, which is the Prism palette. I think it's super pretty. Again, I don't get a lot of use out of this, but I need to use it again. I just kind of recently have gotten the swing of using the same palettes over and over again, which is why I need to do my Shop My Stash again. Next we have the Soft Glam palette, which is a newer release from the beginning of this year. I believe it was the beginning of this year. And I love this palette. It's super pretty, super natural glam, kind of wedding-esque makeup, and I really enjoy the formula in this palette. The shimmers are super good in this palette, especially the shade Bronze right here. It's really good. The next palette is also from this year. It's the Norvina palette. If you can't see, I have them organized by how they came out. But this palette is so beautiful. I know a lot of people were disappointed in this palette because it's a purple palette, but there's only 3 purple shades in it. That doesn't bother me because I think that this is a wearable purple palette. Unlike some purples, a lot of people aren't into wearing purple makeup. I don't mind wearing purple makeup, but this is a lot more marketable to an average consumer in my opinion. So I think that they did a really good job with the shade selection in that palette. And again, formula is amazing. The metallics in that one are some of my favorite metallics from ABH, as well as the metallics in the next palette, which is the Sultry palette. Absolutely beautiful. I got this for Christmas. I was so excited to complete my ABH collection. I can't wait to see what other palettes they come out with in 2019 that I can add on to. ABH is my favorite eyeshadow formula. I think that the mattes are so blendable and the metallics are so blinding. The color Cyborg in here, the silver shade, is incredible. I'm obsessed with it. I've never liked a silver eyeshadow until I got this palette and played around with Cyborg. It's so good. Okay, so I'm editing and I'm watching and I'm just looking at how bad my skin looks in the video and like in real life too. Do you see this dry patch of skin? Oh my gosh. The next palette I actually almost got rid of, but did decide to keep because there are several shades in here that I do really enjoy. But this might be going sometime in 2019. I haven't decided yet. We'll just have to see how much I use it. That is surprisingly the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I know, guys, right? I really like the shades Candied Peach and Peaches and Cream and Georgia. There are several shades that I really like, but I just don't use this a lot, and it is getting kind of old. I've had this since summer 2017, so it's been about a year and a half. I don't know what the shelf life on these shadows are, but yes, I decided to go ahead and keep it for now, but probably will be going sometime in 2019. We'll just have to see how much I use it, like I said. The next palette is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina de Caribe palette, volume 1. I think the color selection in this palette is absolutely stunning. All of the mattes, not mattes, all of the metallics are gorgeous colors. The mattes, last time I used them, I had a little bit of problem with patchiness, but I think I've only used this palette 1 or 2 times, so I really need to play around with it more. Again, my Shop My Stash videos will be coming up soon again. Probably not until I move back into my apartment. I'm at home right now for the break, but when I get back in my apartment, I'll probably start it up again. But we'll see. This definitely needs to be used more. I saw that they released their volume 2. The color section is beautiful. Definitely on my radar to think about picking up. Hoping that maybe they'll put it in a BoxyCharm in 2019 because this wasn't a BoxyCharm, but we'll see about that. The next palette was also from a BoxyCharm. It is the Crown Pro Fuego palette. I almost got rid of this palette, but some of these metallics are just so gorgeous. Like this one right here and this one right here are so pretty. I don't wear necessarily shades this orange if I'm going for a warm tone, but I figured I can use it on other people, and the mattes are very blendable in this palette, so I will use this if that is the kind of look that I want to go for. I'll organize it later. The other side, starting from the front again, I have the ColourPop Make Up Your Minds palette. I got this for free when I ordered stuff from ColourPop. The blue shade is, so I don't know what's the deal with the lighting right now. The blue shade is gorgeous. I'm obsessed with the blue shade. But yes, I do really like this as a companion palette. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of it because, like I said, I'm just in a routine right now that I need to get out of. But hopefully soon I can pop that in and Shop My Stash and get some use out of it. Next we have the Laura Lee Los Angeles Party Animal palette. I think the color selection in this palette is beautiful, and I think these colors are so pretty. And like I said in my Kat Von D video, I don't base what I buy off of the owners behind the brands. I know that's kind of a controversial subject. A lot of people boycott because of owners, but I don't do that. But yes, I do really enjoy that palette. A lot of people didn't like it, but I think the formula is really good. The pink shade is really amazing. Next I have the Ace Beauty, I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard lots of things, but the Grandioso palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm. I think these shades are absolutely gorgeous. They blended super well. I'd be really interested in trying some more of the palettes from this brand in 2019. Next I have the Kevyn Aucoin Electro Pop palette. This is a very pretty companion palette because it is all metallics, but it's all super beautiful metallics, like fun colors, and I absolutely love the colors in this palette. Some of the formulas of the shades I'm not a big fan of, but some of the shades formulas are really good, and I feel like the good formulas outweigh the bad ones in this palette. Next I have 2 ColourPop palettes. The first one is the My Little Pony palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm. I was so excited about it. I really like the color story in this palette. I think it's fun for ColourPop. This blue one right here is really pretty, but it's not as pretty as the blue shadow and the other little Make Up Your Mind palette that I have from ColourPop, but it's still really good. But yes, I do have the My Little Pony palette, and I really like it. I have a palette that I actually thought was really boring before I got it. It's the Element of Surprise palette. I got this on BoxyCharm's website with charm points, and before I got it I was like, that's really boring, there's only 2 shades that are like fun. But I really actually like this palette. I haven't used it a bunch, but the shades in here actually are really nice for a natural eyeshadow. I think the metallics in here are really, really good, and even though it was kind of boring to me at first, and it still is a neutral palette, I do really enjoy it because I think that the brown toned metallic shades are pretty unique. They have some really cool undertones that I enjoy, so I do really actually like the Element of Surprise palette by ColourPop. Next I have 3 Lime Crime palettes. We have the Lime Crime Venus 3, which is my personal favorite Venus palette. I love these 2 shades. They're more topper shades, but I think they look beautiful on the eyes on their own. And I just really think that Lime Crime shadows blend out super well. They're very, very pigmented. I absolutely love the color story in the Venus 3 palette. I think it's beautiful. Next, we obviously will have the Venus 2 palette, which is super unique for a Venus palette. I feel like all of the Venus palettes are pinks, reds, purpley tones, but this one is very, very unique color story wise, which is why I picked it up, because I really wanted a good mustard, a good orange, a good blue, and at the time I did not have those, and so I really enjoy this palette for those colors. I think it's still the same great formula, but just a very different color story that I think is super unique and cool. Next we have the Lime Crime Venus palette, the very first Venus palette. I used to watch Emily Lee use this palette all the time, and she would always take the shade Rebirth right here and put it in her crease, and I thought it was beautiful. I really do like to put that on my crease. It's a good crease color, but the metallics in this palette, these 2 right here, aren't my favorite metallic formulas because they're a little soft and they are super blinding, but I do like this for a natural eyeshadow look. I think it's a very natural wash of pink tones on the eyes, and so I do really like the Venus 1 palette. Next, I have 2 Juvia's Place palettes. I want to get more Juvia's Place palettes, but every time I go to Ulta, the ones that I want are sold out, which is really depressing. But yes, I have the Douce palette, the Douce palette. I saw Nikki Tutorials do a look with this palette, and I was obsessed with it. Juvia's Place has some of the most beautiful metallic shades I've ever used in my life. As you can tell, I love metallic shades. Like, I get really excited when it's a good metallic formula. But yes, I think that the color story in here is absolutely unique. So beautiful, and I'm obsessed with the metallic shades in here. So definitely want to get some more use out of that in the new year. We also have the Zulu palette. I bought this because I wanted some fun colors that I didn't have before. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of this. In fact, I don't know if I've actually worn it but 1 or 2 times, but I'm definitely going to get some more use out of it, I promise. But it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the color story. It's so metallic, I mean, not metallic, I don't know what I'm saying. It's so bright. The metallics are very beautiful and unique colors. I do really like the shades that they picked out for this, and it would work very good as a companion palette with another palette, or by itself if you want to go for a super colorful look. Okay, we have 5 palettes left. We have the Urban Decay Elements palette, which you saw in my last video. It's one of my newer palettes in my collection. I think the color story is so pretty and unique. I love the amount of colors that it comes with, and so far I've really been enjoying using this palette. Like I said, I got it on sale for like $26, and it's regularly $52. I said $54 yesterday, but it's $52. Now I have the Venus XL palette by Lime Crime. This color story is also super pretty. My roommate is obsessed with this color story. She asked for it for Christmas. I'm not sure if she got it or not, but if not, she can always use mine. But I think the color story here is really pretty. I don't reach for it as much as I'd like to, just because it's all pinks, basically. But I do think that the formula is really good, and I enjoy having this palette in my collection. Next, we have the Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette. I'm sure you've all seen this palette. I love this palette. I know a lot of people didn't like it because it's like a rainbow palette, but they tried to hide the fact that it's a rainbow palette, and they don't like the layout, whatever. I think it's beautiful. I don't really care about the layout of shadows The shadows are in there, and it doesn't matter where they are in the palette in my opinion. But I really love the packaging on this. I love the formula of these eyeshadows. Kat Von D has another really good formula, and I love the amount of looks that I can create using this palette. I also have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This palette is kind of boring to me now because if you cover up this corner, it's literally just a buttload of browns. But I do love the metallic formula in this and the matte formula. This palette does just have an overall good formula. But like I said, I wish it was a little bit more unique instead of just so many browns in it. But I do like the formula in it, so I keep it because it's a really good travel palette because you can do a lot of natural looks with it. I also have the Morphe James Charles palette, which is freaking giant. If you haven't seen my first impressions on it, you should go watch it. It's 2 videos ago. And this is what it looks like. I'm sure you've all seen it. This purple shade right here is the purple shade that's similar to Ripple, but I like Ripple better. I don't really like the formula of this one. But this palette is absolutely gorgeous. I need to play around with it more. I haven't worn a lot of makeup over Christmas break, and I got it right before Christmas break, so I haven't worked with this a lot, but I definitely am going to be using it a lot more in the new year. The last eyeshadow palette that I'm keeping, I actually don't have with me because it is at school in the mailbox because I just ordered it. And it came in this morning, but I won't be able to get it out of my mailbox for like 2 more weeks, which sucks. But it is the Kat Von D Fetish eyeshadow palette. I'm really excited. The color story is so unique. I love Kat Von D's color stories. I love the formula, so I'm really excited to play around with that palette. But yes, those are all the eyeshadow palettes that I'm keeping. I am thinking about doing a video where I show you the ones that I'm getting rid of, so if you're interested in that, give this video a thumbs up, and if you enjoyed this video, also give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, down below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!
Keep on playing.